Here we go. All right. Good morning, afternoon, 12 noon. I'm your New England Region RRC CRS president, and I'm happy to bring to you again the Mastermind Mondays series with our hosts, Kelly Catallo and Nora Lynch. Nora, can you tell us who's going to be our guest today?
Yeah, so today on Monday, July 20th, is it really already July 20th? I can't believe it. So Sarah Gustafson from Holden, Massachusetts. And thank you very much, Sarah, for coming on board for today. And Kelly, take it away.
Absolutely. Nora, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
I'm really excited. I think we've had a great lineup so far. And this is the perfect point where our realtors are starting to get back out there and they're looking for new ways to grow their business. So this was a great idea to bring Sarah in. Sarah Gustafson, so a lot of people know Sarah, that she is a top producer in her area of Holden, Massachusetts, which is about an hour west out of Boston. She's active in her community as a member of the Chamber of Commerce. She's the president of BNI Gateway to Success and an avid promoter of local businesses and charities. Sarah has also been recognized on the national level as a 40 under 40 recipient from the National Association of Realtors. So I know that Sarah's built this huge B2B business, and I am so excited to hear how you did it, Sarah. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you so much. I have to correct you, though, before rumors start flying. I was 40 under 40 in Worcester, not 40 under 40 nationally. So before I get angry phone calls from everybody that was a 30 under 30 nationally, I just want to clarify that point. So thank you so much for having me today. I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your day, and I'm happy to help share with how BNI has helped my business over the years. So the first question you need to ask yourself is how you network. I know a lot of us will focus on our sphere of influence. I know that a lot of us will do Chamber of Commerce by a raise of hands. How many people do Chamber of Commerce activities? Oh yes, I see you out there. And then we also volunteer in other either charities that we work with at the kids' schools, etc. My question always is on all those activities, what is your return? How do you document it? I can tell you for myself personally, I was a member of my local Chamber of Commerce for 5 years. I went to almost every monthly networking event, and I would see 5 to 8 other realtors present at every single event. That is tough competition. It took me 5 years of active involvement in my Chamber of Commerce in order to get a referral out of it. So that was the time commitment I had there. With BNI, maybe, theoretically, just kidding, my whole computer just froze. Okay.
Well, but you know this stuff so well, Sarah. Tell us about your experience.
Now I got it. All right. So quote from the BNI founder, Dr. Ivan Meisner, is first you have to be visible in the community. You have to get out there and connect with people. It is called net sitting and net eating. It's not called net sitting or net eating. It's called networking, and you have to work it. And the thing is we as realtors can spend a lot of time and energy investing in networking, but we need to do networking that is productive back to us at the end of the day. So about 6 years ago, I joined BNI. And the reason that BNI is different is it has consistency, commitment, uniqueness, and business referrals. And I'm going to touch base on how all 4 of those topics make this process different than just networking at the chambers and other charities, etc. So the consistency with BNI is that it meets every single week. So chapters all over the country will meet either in the morning, some do lunches, some do evenings, but they meet every week. And as a member of the BNI, you are asked to be there and miss no more than 6 meetings in a 6-month period. So what that allows is, as we know from many marketing studies, that the more often you are in front of people, the more likely they are to remember your name. Some of the numbers that get thrown around is the 33 touches a year. Well, this is allowing you 52 touches a year to a select group of people that all see you every week. And most BNI chapters range from usually 20 to 40 members. So you have 20 to 40 people that see you every week, learn about your business every week, learn about who you are, and then want to refer you to other people. That's a little different than most other networking strategies that I've seen. The other thing is the commitment. I did touch on that it is every week. It's a commitment because everyone's decided to show up for their business. And so all of the members that are there are involved in promoting each other's businesses, which leads into the uniqueness. In the Chamber of Commerce, as I said, I'll go to an event. There will be 5 to 8 other realtors there. I am not getting business that night. I'm sorry. I mean, I try to be good at sales and I'm an introvert and it's like a lot of energy for me to do those meetings. But with so much competition, it's really hard to develop those one-on-one relationships. With the BNI, there's only 1 seat per chapter per profession. So I'm the only realtor. There's only 1 mortgage broker. There's only 1 estate attorney, 1 house cleaner, 1 HVAC person. So you start to build relationships with these people that become part of your network. The reason I had originally joined BNI is for the 4th point. It was for the business referrals, not for myself, but for my clients. And I mean, I don't know about all of you, and I share this story freely. I am not one of the 5 families in every town in Massachusetts. I do not have children in the school systems. So when I got into real estate, I did not have a way to know everybody or to be the resource. And BNI allows me that when my clients call and go, hey, Sarah, do you have? And I'm like, yes, I actually do. Here's the name. And I had a client that was a past client of mine that called back, I want to say 2 or 3 years after their sale. And she actually texted me one night and she goes, do you have someone that can drive us to the airport? This was before Uber and Lyft were big. And within 3 seconds, I had texted her the information for my airport driver. And she goes, I told my husband that you would absolutely have someone to do this. And he didn't believe me. And she goes, so I won. So it's, for me, the ability to serve my clients better is why I did it. Because the people that are part of the network, you know, I won't speak for all chapters, but I will speak for mine. They have to be licensed and insured contractors. So I know when I'm referring them, I'm referring someone that is going to do quality work. And if not, they have to answer for it back to the chapter. So I minimize the ability for my clients to have a bad experience. And as with anything, and I joke about this, is I have some people in my network, you know, I say I pay their mortgages. So they're not going to treat me poorly or my clients poorly. Because at the end of the day, if they lose the funnel of business I give them, that's going to be a problem for their business. So it brings everybody up to a better level. And then what happened for me over time is, of course, now I've started pulling a lot of my own business out of the chapter as well. But I did not go into it with that philosophy. And that would be my recommendation to you, that as you start to look at how you network, 1, see what the return on your investment has been for the activities that you've been doing. Are they productive? This, for me, is the most productive. But it's because I'm willing to put the time and energy into it and go with the BNI philosophy that givers gain, meaning you give of yourself before you expect anything in return. And by doing that, that has been very fruitful to me. So the second quote from Dr. Meisner is, first you have to be visible in the community. Oh, no, we already did that one. Okay, hey, here we go. Now I figured out how to do it from my keypad. We just roll with it. I'm not technologically savvy if you haven't met me before. So the results of BNI, what is the numbers? Now numbers sometimes just go right over my head, so I tried to distill it into things that were real. In the month of June, in the state of Massachusetts, the BNI chapters passed over $8 million in business. During the pandemic, my personal chapter has passed over $60,000 worth of business. So when everything else shut down, BNI, within 2 weeks of the shelter in places being announced, immediately went into an online platform, and we kept all of our meetings going. I'm president of my local chapter, and I had a couple members that were really worried. They were going to drop out. They said, oh my God, my business is collapsing. I said, this is the one thing that's going to save your business, because all of these people are going to pull together to help each other to continue to pass referrals and make money during a pandemic. I said, there's no other networking group right now that is doing this at this speed. So I've seen the results during what we're going through right now. I have to say it's been one of the most positive things with everything that has gone on, because as you know, so many of our other social engagements have been shut down. But BNI has kept everything going because their number one job is to make their members money. Also, 71% of the referrals that are passed worldwide result in business. So again, I ask you to think about your return on investment. How many times have you been at a networking event, publicly, getting cocktails, doing whatever, where somebody says, oh, I have somebody I need to put you in touch with. And then that never seems to materialize. Well, with the BNI, everything is tracked. There's a system. It's a really actually nice online app that I've even figured out how to use, so it can't be difficult. And you can put the referrals in, and when someone sends me a referral, I get notified instantly, so I can call that person quickly, and then we can see where we follow up, and we can track any business that comes from it. So it's all tracked, which is when we're writing SMART goals and our business plans for the year, I would ask, isn't that what we're trying to do? And then in 2019, 30% of my personal business came from BNI. So I was a member of BNI for 6 years. And again, it started slow. You know, I think the first year, again, you know, we're talking, we were still in the recession back then. So I didn't expect to get any business the first year because another realtor had left before me. I knew he had relationships with people in the group. So I wasn't there to try to step in on that. I was there at that point to build my sphere for my own clients. But what has happened is because of my dedication and my commitment to it is now I get 30% of my business a year out of it. And that is a very real number that I take home. So that is one of the reasons I've stayed with it. How to start. So if you are interested in becoming a member of a BNI chapter, I would recommend that you go to bni.com. I am going to give you a caveat to this. In order to become a member of a BNI chapter as a realtor, someone needs to die, because it is so lucrative for real estate agents the longer that they are there that they never leave. So I was talking to someone the other day who just had a realtor vacancy in the pandemic, realtor vacancy, and they had over 12 people apply for the position that they had to interview. So when a seat, it's the same for mortgage brokers and the insurance, the property and casualty seat, it's the same thing. So whenever those seats become available, you see a flood of people, and it's very, very competitive. When I joined my own chapter 6 years ago, I was up against two other brokers that I know, like, and respect immensely. They did not interview us correctly at the time, but put us in a room and interviewed all three of us and wanted us to differentiate ourselves, you know, and we all got along, but we're all competitors. And yeah, I'll never forget the question I got was, well, what differentiates you? And I said, I know the president of the state association, and I can call her on my cell phone right now if I need to. And the two other agents were like, yeah, we're out. We don't have that. And I said, hey, I'm sorry, big guns today, guys. I want this seat. So what ends up happening many times is that there are not usually a lot of open realtor seats. So a lot of people will start their own chapters. So what will usually happen is you get together with, it's usually the realtor, the property and casualty person, and the mortgage broker that decide, you know what, we want to begin our own chapter. If you do want to do that, you do have to go through BNI. You have to be properly sanctioned in order to do it. There is definitely a process for it, but I have seen in the Worcester County area 3 or 4 chapters pop up over the past few years just because there just are no real estate and mortgage seats available in my area. So it can definitely be done, and I think for you guys as members of the RRC, you obviously have experience, leadership capabilities. So to start something like a chapter and run it efficiently if you've had any kind of association experience at all is something that, definitely I think we have a leg up in that aspect. So lastly, the last quote I have is, referrals aren't given easily. If you don't have the time to establish the credibility, you're not going to get the referral. People have to get to know you. They have to feel comfortable with who you are and what you do. And that is what BNI offers. It offers that weekly consistency for people to get to know, like, and trust you, to then want to refer you. And once you can do that in a setting with 20 to 40 people, instead of throwing spaghetti at the wall at other networking events, which are not happening right now, it's a lot more lucrative. And I've definitely found it to be a huge asset to my business. And I did not check my time. Oh, I'm a little light on time. So I went a little quickly there. I'm sorry. I wasn't pacing myself today because I had another call going, but I'll take any questions from anybody.
Sarah, I have a question. Is how do you start your own group? What are their fees? Because I know in my area, I think there are a lot of BNIs that are, and of course, being a realtor, are already established. So what is the process if somebody wants to start their own group?
So what I am going to say is, if you would like to email me that question, I am happy to get more detailed information for you on that, because I did not start my own chapter.
Oh, okay.
But I do know that if you go to bni.com, that there's going to be information there as to how to do so. But I'm happy with anybody on this call to shoot me an email. I'll put my contact information in the chat right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I can get that information. And as far as the fees involved for starting, we've had a lot of things changing because of the pandemic. So they have waived application fees right now for a lot of people. They've instituted hardship, respites for people to stay members. But normally, as a member in a full process to become a member, you're usually looking at around $750 a year to be a member. And then there's usually an application fee on that. So I say to people, figure your budget investment is $1,000 your first year. When I went in, I locked in at 2 years, because you can do 2-year memberships. So I just did that as a realtor because I wanted to tie my seat down.
Okay. I have a question from Gary. How can you see ahead of time who's in a chapter? Is there a place to look up?
Say that again?
Is there a place online that you can look that up?
Yeah. Yep. So you can go to bnimass.com and you can look up any chapter. And you can type in the towns that you want. You can type in, I believe, geographic regions, and you can pull up any chapter and they'll give you the chapter roster and they'll tell you everybody who's in those chapters.
Awesome.
And I'm seeing a whole bunch of things in the chat. Kelly, if you can help me manage that, because I can't read them as fast as I'm copying.
You don't have to read it. Me and Nora are going to read it, and we're going to feed it to you. Okay. So Cheryl wants to know, how are you meeting now? Like COVID world, what's it look for BNI?
So I have to tell you, it was amazing. Being president, when this first happened, I remember I was in Aruba and I got a call and they're like, from my vice president, and he goes, "We have a problem. They're shutting down the state. We don't know what to do for the meeting. They've canceled our location," because our location was, is the Overlook in Charlton, which is a life care facility. So as soon as this happened, they were like, "No more outside groups. You guys are out. Find another venue." And I remember I was sitting there and I'm like, wait, what is happening? So what we did is we just hit pause. We took a break for a week because I said, BNI is too big to not have a plan. And they're worldwide. So they had already started to see the effects in China and their chapters in Italy before it ever hit the States. So they were fabulous, and they immediately rolled out an online format to us, free to all the chapters. So I got Zoom credentials, I got a slide deck I could use, I was immediately trained on how to do both. And we were able, within 2 weeks, to roll right to an online format that was essentially the same as what we did in our in-person meetings.
So are you ready to go back to in-person meetings, or what's the foreseeable future look like?
They are asking us right now, so our terms run from October to September. So for the remainder of my presidential term, we are going to be staying online. Because the reason coming from BNI is that we don't really have a reason to have to put people in person if it's not totally necessary.
Okay.
And it's, so a lot of us want to get back together in person, but at the same time, I think everyone in all different fields, we're trying to limit exposure as much as we can when we can. So if we don't have to meet in person, then we're just trying to minimize for the health and safety of our membership.
Absolutely. And then we have another question, Denise Higgins. She wants to know, does your BNI group have to be in a certain proximity to another group? In other words, is there only one for every so many square miles? How does that work?
I don't know how they determine that exactly, because I know that the city of Worcester has 3 of them. I know, once you get out towards Metro West, there are multiples in every single city. So again, I would say when you're going to, and again, now that we're in online formats, they may be open to different things because the chapters could maybe just be a virtual chapter. I think there's also that option as well. So I would say, again, get in touch with me. I'll get you in touch with the people at BNI if you have a specific area that you want to be. But like I said, the city of Worcester has quite a few. And then those of us surrounding, we're only 10 to 15 minutes away from the city and we're running.
Sarah, I had a quick question. How many are in your particular BNI group, and do they have an allotment of certain types of vendors, contractors, professionals?
No, so I have 21 members in my chapter right now, but there are over, I believe the list I have, there are over 100 seats that could potentially be available. Mm-hmm. So there are industries that will split seats, and that's the thing is we all have to operate with integrity and be ethical. So when you come in as a split seat, you focus just on that one piece you're there for. So in my own personal group, I have a property and casualty insurance agent. I have someone that specializes in health insurance, and I have someone that specializes in life insurance, and someone that specializes in disability insurance. Now, all 4 of those people can write all the other policies, but they don't. That's not what they're there for. They come in and focus on their one specific piece, and that's what they build upon. Like the real estate seat can get split because I don't do commercial real estate. So I would love to find a commercial realtor for my chapter that I could be passing commercial business to, because it's very hard to find commercial agents in my area. So, you can split those seats. The contractors, we also have had someone come in as a painter, someone that came in that just did remodeling additions, and someone else that came in that did kitchens and bathrooms. So they split those seats, even though, again, they could all do all of it. That's not what they were there to do. Does that help?
When did you meet? I know some people that meet really early during the week in the mornings, or how do you set that up?
So if you've met me for 10 seconds, I am not a morning person. And this is why I'm in business for myself, because my day starts at 9:30. My chapter meets at 7 a.m. every Thursday. Which is why when people are like, oh, I want to go back to the in-person meeting, I'm like, I'm having enough trouble getting this all together and walking up a flight of stairs to get on a Zoom call. Like, I'm good with but yeah, so most of the time they do them early in the morning. And I do have to say, doing it for 6 years now, the reason it is first thing in the morning is because that way you catch everyone before they go off to their other daily things, and that works. So like in real estate, we have a lot of flexibility with our schedules supposedly, but when you're talking the contractors and the HVAC guys and the painters, they need to be out on the road as early as possible. So they can't be coming in for a 9 or 10 o'clock meeting. So that's why you tend to see a lot of them meet really early.
And again, anybody interrupt me or put a question in there. I just have a lot of questions for Sarah about this in particular. So sorry, but feel free to chime in, Kelly, if you see another question coming in. So what's the enforcement like? I'm all about rules and regulations, right? So
Have you taken a Clifton Strengths test recently?
Have you ever had to kick somebody out because they weren't
Yes.
participating?
Yeah.
Okay.
The way it works is there is an accountability structure. We do have a leadership team within the BNI. So you have your executive team, your president, your vice president, your secretary, treasurer. And then there's also a membership committee, which is about 7 people. We have visitor hosts that just deal primarily with the visitors when they come in. And so then that team all meets. So there are accountability measures already in place through BNI. That's why they are worldwide, is because they hold people to it. So as I alluded to earlier, I can have 3 unexcused absences in 6 months and 3 subs. If I suddenly go over that, then I'm out. I mean, it's pretty black and white. Where I see they give is with if there's a medical issue. Like we've had people that have had to take care of a sick parent, or, the wife was diagnosed with something and they needed to be there for them. So when it's that kind of a thing, we obviously have, sympathy and empathy. But yeah, no, we do enforce, and that the leadership team meets once a month and they review everyone's applications, they review renewals, etc. So.
And I think Gary has a question. Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, I know. I keep seeing his hand pop up. So I'm like, someone get to poor Gary over there. My God.
Sari, I've heard you talk a little bit about BNI before, and I kind of know the answer, but I think the group would get some benefit about hearing how you make it special with one-on-ones and how you kind of dive deep a little bit into, the individual relationships with the people that are important to you and your business.
Good question. Thank you. So with the metrics, because for Nora, who loves the metrics, so there are metrics we all have to do every single week. And the metrics for BNI are how many referrals you've passed. So you have to log all your referrals each week. They are your one-to-ones, which is how many times you've met with other members of your chapter. Not in a 10-minute phone call that goes, hey, how you doing? Like, I don't count every time I talk to my mortgage broker. I do, however, count every time she and I go out to dinner. So that counts. So the one-to-ones allow you to dive into a deeper relationship with someone and get to know them better. So in addition to seeing people every week, you then get to know a lot more about them on a personal level that helps grow your business. They also track your attendance, and then they track your thank you for closed business. So we're looking at all 4 metrics every single week, because the more one-to-ones you have, the more referrals you pass, and the more present you are in the chapter, it is proven the more business you're going to get.
Wow. Sarah, you were awesome. I always refer to you as the queen of BNI, but your presentation was so jam-packed with information. You've given our CRS members a lot that they can follow up on to build their business. And we really, really want to thank you for being part of our Mastermind Monday series. And we look forward to having you here in the future. So with that, it's 12:28. Next week, we are bringing on Laurel Starks. Laurel Starks is the divorce expert in real estate. She's out in California. She is the CEO of the Divorce Institute. Many people, many realtors have already experienced her course. And she's coming here to the New England region of the Residential Real Estate Council to teach us all about how to build a niche in the divorce market. Cheryl?
Thanks, Kelly. That sounds very exciting. I have something to share from our state leaders meeting we learned about last week. I put it in the chat box. There's free education Tuesdays starting tomorrow, July 21 through August 17th. As members, you can sign up for any of those webinars for free, and they go towards your maintenance credits. Following that is Show Me Your Shield. Basically, post your superpower and post it between August 18th and September 1st. And then lastly, Play It Forward is going to be a series from September 8th to the 30th, which in that time frame will also include the CRS week. Monday, selling virtually with Richard Waystack. Tuesday, selling luxury homes with Jack Cotton. Wednesday, social media and communications apps with Tim Herr. Thursday, how to handle virtual negotiations with Dale Cartlin. And following the week up strong, Lee Brown, trends and insights for 2021. So we got a great August and September ahead.
Awesome.
Thank you, Sarah. Great job.
Awesome.
Amazing. Hey, may I jump in for 1 sec, everybody? Hi, it's Lisa from
We can't hear you, Lisa.
Can't hear you, Lisa.
But I think she wants to remind everybody that we sent out a survey and we're looking for volunteers. So if you can take the time to fill that out. This will be posted. Christine McClellan is posting all of these webinars on our new YouTube site, and she'll put that in the chat.
Okay, but can you also have them posted on the Facebook group page too?
Yes. That'd be a good.
Don't know.
Poor Lisa.
Poor Lisa. Lisa, we can't hear you, darling. Lisa, okay, bye.
Bye. Please look on our Facebook site and our YouTube site. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks.